up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and joining me today, I have the editor-in-chief of Alpha Magazine. We have Luciano Layne here. What's up?
What's up, girl? How you been?
I'm good. There's a reason why you're... No, I'm kidding. But first of all, just to be clear, we do always like to highlight people who are entrepreneurs.
Okay.
We know you've had multiple things and businesses going on. But right now, today, we're here about Alpha Magazine, and I'm on the cover.
Yes, yeah. Well, the reason that came to mind was, I've watched you from afar, and you've given so many flowers to so many people. You're all about empowering other people, and you're just such an inspiration, and I felt like it was time for you to have yours. So that was like my number one goal, and I was like, we got to do this for Women's Month. She's somebody that I really respect, and I really enjoy what you do for the community, and I just feel like any way I can help in the future, I'm here, and I just respect everything you have to offer.
Well, thank you. And you guys sent over some great questions for the interview and all of that. I feel like this is my 20th year in radio this year. And
wow.
I know I was talking about that behind the scenes at the photo shoot. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. It's 20 years for me in November this year. And sometimes we're just doing the work. Like, I'm normally the one that's interviewing people.
Right.
Not always the person getting interviewed. So I've always felt like what I do is more of a vessel to help other people,
right.
Get what they have going on.
Right, same.
Out there. Tell us about your beginnings, though, because aside from the publishing world, you have a book out, too, by the way, 13 Letters to My Children. But you also have done talent management. Mm-hmm. You've been an artist as well.
Yeah, I've been an artist as well. I started out as an artist, and then I took the transition of being a ghostwriter and doing the behind the scenes and stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. Then that led into photography, and then it just kind of went from there. But the magazine came to me I just thought like I wanted to create something that could highlight people in a different way. And I know when people hear the name Alpha, they're probably thinking like, oh, it's a masculine magazine or something like that. But really, it's just a mindset. I think it's a certain type of act of service that you have where you're like, I'm willing to be selfless and put other people first. And I just wanted to do something to just highlight our people. I mean, there's so many magazines out here that are, and they work for what they work for. And I will never discredit what they've done for the community. But I just wanted to be, I had a goal, and my goal was I wanted to be the first Black-owned magazine that was inclusive on newsstands. Like, why don't we deserve to be on the covers with the Hillary Swanks and everybody else? So, I just wanted to show us in a different light. Regardless of what genre that person's in, I wanted to bring something different to the table.
And you had Rick Ross on the cover recently, too, right?
Yeah, him and Dre Ross, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So talk to me about that issue.
So it was a digital issue. Dre Ross is somebody I've worked with for about 7 years now, and I met him when he was just on his come up, and we've worked really well together, and I've been kind of like helping with the management and the development, and he was like, hey, I got this opportunity. I'm getting ready to do this song, so I tried to help him and assist him as much as I can, and we put together a team. I'm actually credited on the video that they did, Bands, as the art visual director. And so we just had a moment, and we were able to facilitate everything that we needed, and it just came out right, and it was cool.
With so many people shying away from the magazine business, can you talk to me about what made you say we're going full throttle into this?
I think people don't want to do the magazine because it requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of thinking. You have to be strategic, but it's really not as complicated as people make it seem. I think my thing is when you find something that you're passionate about, you can be as very skillful as you want to be, but I think ambition and having that obsession to want to do great plays a huge factor on the outcome of what you get out of that situation.
Right. And what I also want to talk about is Deborah Cox. She was on a cover also. And then I saw her also doing interviews for Alpha Magazine previously. So that was interesting to me to see Deborah Cox in that position. How did that happen?
So actually how it happened was we did, my guy, Tay Revere, he's a makeup artist. He set it up for us. And Deborah did the photo shoot we did in L.A., And after the photo shoot, me and her had a conversation. It was like a 2-hour conversation, and it just led into about, we were talking about love and life and just I mean, anything you can think about when two people just get along, we were talking about it. And I was like, hey, have you ever thought about being a creator director for Alpha? And she was just like, really? And so we started working there. And then it translated to her being an executive director. And, I still have respect, and I don't say she's still with the company anymore, but she's elevating in her career. And that was the goal for it. It was just to bring her in, to give her a platform, because I feel like a lot of people wasn't familiar with Deborah Cox, but I got her in Forbes. I did a lot of behind the scenes work for her, but like, she's an incredible woman. Seale, they're just a great team, and I have the most respect for her and just everything that she's done.
Yeah, I love some Deborah Cox, boy.
Yeah, she's an amazing person. Yeah.
All right, so when are we going to be able to get our hands on the actual magazine?
So we were actually on our way to go get it, but it didn't come right on time. So it's actually delivered. So it'll be here. It's here today, basically.
Okay,
but we have a surprise for you.
Okay, what's the surprise?
Because I like to, when there's delays, I got to have surprises to match up for, right? So what we're going to do this Saturday in Times Square, we're going to have your billboard.
Oh, a billboard.
Yeah, with your cover.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So how can I go see it? Like, tell me where it's going to be.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk with you guys and get what time you want to do. I'm going to customate it to be when you're ready, when you want to be there, how many times you want it to play, but it'll be there. So I wanted to give you that.
Wow, that's huge. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And what's the vision for Alpha Magazine moving forward?
I think the vision, and I don't want to say for me, but I think for as a collective of people, I want to get like-minded individuals who are not content with the way things are, and we can challenge each other to do better and come together and say, hey, you know what? We're complaining about this, but what can we do about it? What's the solution? So I just, we went from being just a fashion magazine to now being women, men, high fashion, but also we're a human empowerment magazine. So I think the goal for me is just, really catapulting people, but also showing people in a different light. So speaking of that, we have I'm doing an event in April. Well, I'm a part of an event. Jamal, I don't want to say the brother's name wrong, but his name is Jamal Thornhill. He's a fellow of My Brother's Keeper.
Okay. We love My Brother's Keeper.
Yeah. They have an event going on, and he organized an event with State New York Senator Leroy Comrie, and I'm going to be a keynote speaker there. So I'm just trying to come together and bring the right minds together, because this is deeper than magazine. I think that there's a conversation that needs to be had, and people like yourself need to continuously be highlighted and uplift. And I have a lot of resources, and anything that I can do to help anyone, I feel like I want to do my act of service to help people. That's it.
I was purging my house over the weekend, and one of the things that I did was I was finding like all these old magazines that I was in, because it's not like, there's no feeling like being in a magazine.
Correct.
I mean, much less being on the cover of a magazine, which is really amazing, and I'm grateful for that. But it was just interesting because I was looking at like the first ever time I was in a magazine. I actually have that magazine still.
Oh my goodness.
At home. Remember back in the day, they used to have you would be at a party and they would be like a part of the magazine that was like all party pictures, like who was at the party. Yeah. We don't, I guess, need that anymore because we have Instagram
right.
and social media. But I still remember the first time I ever was like in one of those pictures in a magazine, and I still had it. It was this magazine called One World.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I was like, look at me. I had cornrows, of course, back then. But then even like the first time when I started working in radio, as Sirius on Shade 45, the first ever shoot I did, Double XL Magazine did Shade 45, limited like special magazine, and I had a little shoot in there.
Yeah.
And that was like my first ever magazine like profile piece.
Oh, wow.
And so just things like that I think are really important for people to have that in history, because everything is, and I think the digital support of that is important too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's just something to be said for having something like, that
Tangible,
you can actually feel and sit on a toilet and read.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. That's really big. I mean, let me ask you, what did you think about the experience with Alpha? First
of all, it was an all-black team, which was really great and fun. The music was amazing. They were like, what do you want to hear?
Yeah.
And I had the Afro Beats playlist going too.
Yeah.
But everybody was great. Like, it was a very comfortable experience. What's the designer's name? Because we want to make sure we shout him out too.
Yeah, Justin.
Okay, Justin. So we used all his clothes, and you guys had like a lot of things for me to choose from.
Yeah.
Comfortably speaking, because you know how I dress. I'm very like, always like sweatshirts.
Baggy
and,
stuff. Feel more comfortable. You don't want nothing tight and pressed up on you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am, though. That's just how I've always been.
Yeah.
And it was, great selections. You guys really paid attention to what it was that I liked and needed. I also have on a wig, and that's different for me, too. So when people saw these pictures, they were like, who's that? I'm like, that's me. But definitely had on a wig, so it wasn't something that would look like how I always look. So I think that also really helped. But the whole team was great.
I appreciate that. I mean, I really strive for perfection, and not as in I want things to be perfect, but I want to create, like, I feel like great relationships are like a home cooked meal, right? Mm-hmm. And I just want to leave a great taste. You want to keep coming back for seconds, and if you only got one time to make a good first impression. And I think my goal was, whatever you or your team needed, I just had it in my heart to say, let's just take care of her. Mm-hmm. She's our sister. Let's make sure she's great. Let's take care of her. And, I didn't really have to coach the team too well. Everybody was just,
I'm pretty easy to work with too.
Yeah, you are very easy to work with. Very easy to work with.
I was chilling. And, shout out to my guy, H.O., who also was there working hard. He, by the way, just like you, used to be a rapper.
Oh, yeah?
I know
he didn't tell me that.
No, he didn't.
Me and him got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So y'all have had past lives. He's so mad that I just revealed that right now. But yes, he also. What made you say I'm not doing this anymore? Like, I know you said you did ghostwriting, but then what made you just say, all right?
I think what it was when it comes to like the mindset of the way the structure is built, and you might have somebody who's like super attractive, like a Trey Songz or a Drake, and you might be marketed a certain way, which is they're going to market you single and this and that. And then you might have somebody who's not as whatever, and they might say, we want you to be this way. I think for me is like at that particular time, it was a complicated space for me because I was maintaining a relationship. So, trying to have a relationship and trying to promote yourself as single, that's a lot for a person extremely young to carry, and it's hard to get, you get caught up in all the desires and temptation. I felt like I wanted to learn the business. I wanted to be behind the business. I wanted to find another way that we can break artists without having to degrade ourselves or, promote ourselves a certain way. And I mean, that was really what it was. I mean, I think it was just more so that I lost the love for it. I didn't really have the passion to do it anymore. And I really felt the enjoyment of writing the songs and being able to do it in that perspective. So, I mean, from that experience, even though it was ghostwriting, it was a great experience because it was a great relationship, and those relationships, and they just nurtured itself, and here we are today.
All right. Well, we love to see it. Well, I am excited. Where can people find the magazine?
They can go to the website, alphathemagazines.com, and we're actually on newsstands too. We got Walmart, Target, Barnes and Nobles. On our website, we're probably doing about 18 million monthly subscribers. So we have turned up a lot. So I'm really grateful to anybody who has supported us. I mean, like I said, Wait,
18 million monthly subscribers? Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How is advertising them? Because I know, and this is something that Roland Martin, shout out to him, always talks about how a lot of these corporations aren't spending their dollars with black media the way that they should.
Well, you know what it was? I can honestly say this. It wasn't any money that we put into marketing or anything like that. It was really the talent. We put the talent on there and just give them that experience. Because think about it. When is the last time you've seen this celebrity shoot for this magazine, and they're happy about it and they're promoting it. 9 times out of 10, they don't have no control of it. They don't know when it comes out. It's not the greatest experience. It's just like, okay, my publicist told me to do this and I'm just going to do it. But we tapped into creating a really good experience for them, and making sure that they felt so comfortable that every single cover that we've worked with, 90% of them, they reposted it. They consistently reposted it. And that just kind of organically built itself. And I think is because it was so different. And when people seen the magazine, like a lot of people when they first saw it, they thought it was white on. They was like, "Oh, you got investors?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's not. It's black on." So I would say I'm grateful for every single individual, even if they wasn't A-list. Everybody played a huge factor. The team. I mean. When you open a magazine, you'll see the team's credited. Everybody, that's the first magazine that I've seen that every single person involved was tagged or credited and mentioned per page. And I think that love alone just makes people more motivated to want to work. I mean, if you're doing 8 to 10 hours working with a celebrity and you're only getting an Instagram tag, I mean, how is that even good enough? So I want to continue to take what I know and just being like the iPhone and keep updating my software with new information and trying to advance in the best ways I can. And I couldn't do it without people like you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And again, Luciano, Layne, for joining us. How can people reach you personally?
I'm on Instagram at I am Luciano Layne, so pretty much that is the connect to everything, and you'll see everything you need to see there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and for putting me on the cover of the magazine. My guy, H.O., is in the room, too. He's a business owner as well. Make sure you follow him, Chase Republic. And, he does a lot of stuff for me in bookings, and I know he did his own shoot that day as well.
Yeah, he's amazing. This is my guy. H.O. is, I would say, I run across a lot of people who have teams and stuff, and out of everybody I've worked with, you guys are my favorite people. So H.O. is an amazing person.
You don't say that to everybody, do
No,
you?
I don't say it to everybody.
I'm going to go back and check.
You can check the interviews, I'm saying it on the record. H.O.'s my guy. I really appreciate you, Angela. And again, like I said, I felt like all the flowers that you've given to people, I just wanted to highlight you. And I just want to continue to bring people like you who are like-minded, who I feel that deserve to be on there. So you guys got alpha support, and if there's ever anything that I can do for you guys, I got your back 100%.
Thank you. You definitely told us that as well that day. And shout out to our guy, Maurice Sinet. He's also our brother as well.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, who's Maurice? No, like, all right, it's way up. Thank y'all so much.